delivering invisible clowns? Why? Like, why am I doing this? You know, why? So I'm gonna take a DoorDash break. I'm quitting. Clickbait, this isn't, you know, I'm not one of these content creators who's gonna be like, oh, I'm gone, then I'm back, and then I'm gone, then I'm back, and then I'm gone, then I'm back, and I'm gonna stop, and I'm not gonna stop. Like, no, I'll never do this. Clicks and views for attention. But I'm not doing DoorDash this week. I'm not doing DoorDash next week. I'll be on vacation. Can you? I'm just gonna dash along the way. I'm not gonna give DoorDash my time back. They don't deserve it. I'm gonna let other people that want to make money on DoorDash. They can have the orders and have a good or bad experience. But we're not gonna do DoorDash for the rest of the year. I'm gonna continue to learn and convert my market a little bit. Doing okay the last couple days. I always have rideshare. I've been all my work this year, guys. If I did that, it makes sense to convert it. So I have to stop myself from trying to improve the program with DoorDash, showing you guys this stuff, because I'm not gonna make good money if I just and while I know I make money doing other things, I still, you know, I want to be my true self, my genuine self for you guys, and I don't want to make videos just going for when I know what the best is for me. Cherry picking is the way to go, and having multiple apps is the way you're going to make more money. Anybody that tells you different doesn't know what they're talking about. That's the way to be most profitable. So the games are over. I've done what I can do. DoorDash is DoorDash. A lot of people are going away from it and trying Spark and this and Shift or Uber or rideshare or other ways to make money. And I recommend that. Am I going to deactivate my account and never do DoorDash again? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'll quit for a little while. I don't want to give it my energy. It has been good for me. Made some good videos. You guys got some good laughs. You know, I'm going to talk about DoorDash, report on certain things, and I'll, you know, that's still valid, right? Because I understand DoorDash. I really do. Things are going to happen and change. In 2023, like I said, I think a lot of these programs are going to even continue to evolve. I'll start doing a little DoorDash then to test some things out and see what it's like. But for the rest of the year, I'm good. I'm going to do some Instacart because I think the money will be there. And I'm going to do rideshare because I know people got to go places. The weather's not going to be good in St. Louis. It'll get cold.
That is true.
You have to wait on the bus or do this. I'm going to maybe take a Uber to work. I know this part. The money's going to be doing that. My acceptance rate is so high right now, but I still see crap. I don't want to play the games with DoorDash. I don't want to give them my energy. I'm a 41-year-old man. It's not worth it. And I don't want to do it just for you guys to watch videos because you like it. I can give you guys other videos. We can talk about DoorDash still. It doesn't mean I have to walk into these places, pick up these orders, and deal with these miserable clowns. I'm miserable enough. I don't need to be miserable with DoorDash. Okay? That's just me being honest and 100% real with y'all. And I'm not one of these creators that's gonna come on here and say, I quit DoorDash. I'm gonna stop doing DoorDash videos, and then 2 weeks later they're doing DoorDash videos. Or I'm back. This space needs me, I'm back, and then they don't do anything. Like, YouTube is a funny place. It's a really funny place. I love it. It's entertainment. I want y'all to remember that. It's entertainment first. We went live today. The live I got in a spot and I was gonna do it, and it like kind of crashed, so I had to end it. So if you
Private dating chat girls, emoji red heart. Private dating chat girls, emoji cherries. Private dating chat girls.
But I just wanted to come in here and y'all, like the DoorDash, you're gonna see less DoorDash content on this channel. You're really going to. I'll pick it back up when the new year comes, and we'll see what the app's looking like. We'll see what changes. I'll talk about things. I'll report on things. Things are gonna happen with DoorDash, but like the ride-alongs and me showing you these $2 orders or these $20 orders and proving the diamond program is crap, trying to prove other content creators wrong, it's childish. I'm over it. It's stupid. It's really stupid. I'm gonna leave that for everybody else that wants to continue to do that kind of stuff. Bet on new cycles one day at a time. That's the main thing on this channel, and I'll use the apps to show you guys my journey. And I feel like we have done that very well on this channel. I'm gonna
I believe we got a sufficient amount of glass to cover up these two big mega structures here.
These experiments and
Let's hope we
delivering
can.
to clowns, like it's really kindergarten level to me. I don't want to do that anymore. And there are other people that do it way better than me anyway on YouTube. Go check them out. I'm gonna give you guys some Instacart stuff, some Uber stuff. I'll report on some things. I'll share. We're gonna continue. I got a cool video coming out in the next couple days about Solo. Big announcement with them. But the DoorDash, I'm just kind of over it. Like, I just am. It's done a lot for me. It's gonna continue to do things for me. But I don't want that to be all of me. I don't want it to be like. It's already my middle name on YouTube. I did that on purpose. And I was doing DoorDash full time at the time. But I don't do as much DoorDash as I did before. So like, and I haven't had a good time doing it the last month or so. Running these experiments, it's been ugh.
All right, we need
I don't like delivering to miserable.
we need cobblestone.
Some people
We
can
have
do
some
it
here.
and they're cool with it. It's gonna be like a thing for them. Or they're not as petty as me. They're like, hey, it's fine. The money's fine. I don't care. I'm not that guy. I cannot deliver to people that don't respect me. I just can't.
No, definitely, I feel that.
Diamond, you have to do that sometimes. And it's manipulation and it's clown activity, and I don't want any part of that.
I wouldn't either.
It's not good for my mental. I want to go home and be at peace. I don't want to be thinking about that miserable clown I deliver to, or keeping my acceptance rate at a certain level. That sucks.
Man, acceptance rate is trash. It does not matter. We all know that.
Anyways, this is the video.
Come on, Pedro.
I know it's not exciting. I wanted to drop my thoughts on you guys. That's what this channel's about. That's what we do here. You see my day. We did live earlier, and then this is my moment. This is where my mind's at right now. So that's what you get. I think that's why you guys like it. You see my day. You see my. Have you ever played a tower defense game?
All right, so we got protesters interrupting the speech of Biden, I believe. Let's see what that's about. Hopefully. We may need a lot more coal. Oh wow, that wasn't even that crazy from what I expected. Let's see what we got here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For 8 years under Barack Obama, the Department of Justice was politicized and weaponized. When you came before this committee in your confirmation hearing, you promised things would be different. I asked you specifically, quote, will you commit to this committee that under your leadership, the Department of Justice will not target the political opponents of this administration? Here was your answer, quote, absolutely. It's totally inappropriate for the department to target any individual because of their politics or their position in a campaign. That was your promise just a few months ago. I'm sorry to say you have broken that promise. There is a difference between law and politics. And General Garland, you know the difference between law and politics. Law is based on facts. It is impartial. It is not used as a tool of political retribution. This memo was not law. This memo was politics. On Wednesday, September 29th, the National School Board Association wrote a letter to the president asking the president to use the Department of Justice to target parents that were upset at critical race theory, that were upset at mask mandates in schools, to target them as domestic terrorists. On the face of the letter was in repeated consultation with the White House, an explicit political consultation with the White House. That was on Wednesday, September 29th. 5 days later, on Monday, so right after the weekend, boom, you pop out a memo, giving them exactly what they want. Now, by the way, I understand that in politics that happens all the time. An important special interest wants something, sir, yes, sir. We're going to listen to them. Let me ask you something, General Garland. In the letter, which you told the House of Representatives was the basis for this abusive memo targeting parents, how many incidents are cited in that memo?
I have to look back through the memo. I can't count it.
You don't know. How many of them were violent?
Again, the general report...
How many of them were violent? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know. There's a reason you don't know. Because you didn't care, and nobody in your office cared to find out. I did a quick count just sitting here. During this hearing, I counted 20 incidents cited. Of the 20, 15 on their face are nonviolent. They involve things like insults. They involve a Nazi salute. That's one of the examples. My God, a parent did a Nazi salute at a school board because he thought the policies were oppressive. General Garland is doing a Nazi salute at an elected official. Is that protected by the First Amendment?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 15 of the 20 on the face of it are not violent. They're not threats of violence. They're parents who are unhappy. Yet, miraculously, when you write a memo, the opening line of your memo, in recent months, there has been a disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence. You know what? You didn't look, and nobody on your staff looked. Did you even look up the 20 instances?
As I testified, the decision to make, send a memo is for an assessment.
Did you look up the 20 instances?
I did not read.
Did anyone on your staff look them up?
I don't know the answer, but it's not.
But of course you don't. In general, there's a reason. Look, you started your career as a law clerk to Justice Brennan. You've had many law clerks during the year, during your time as a judge. I was a clerk to Chief Justice Rehnquist. I'll tell you what, if I drafted an opinion for the Chief Justice and walked in and it said, there's a disturbing pattern of violence, well, Ted, how do you know that? Well, I got an amicus brief here who claims it. You would fire a law clerk who did that. You're the Attorney General of the United States. This was not a tweet you sent. This is a memo to the Federal Bureau of Investigations saying, go investigate parents as domestic terrorists.
That is not what the memo says at all.
Is it what the letter says?
That is not what...
Is it what the letter says?
I don't care what the letter says.
You don't care? You said it was the basis of your memo. You testified under oath before the House of Representatives. The letter was the basis of your memo. Now you don't care about the letter?
The letter and public reports of violence and threats of violence. My memo says nothing about domestic terrorism, says nothing about parents committing any such things. My memo is an attempt to get an assessment of whether there is a problem out there that the federal government needs to resolve.
The letter on its face says the actions of the parents could be the equivalent equivalent to a form of domestic terrorism.
And that is wrong.
And asks the president to use the Patriot Act in regards to domestic terrorism directed at parents. This was the basis of your memo.
My memo.
The Department of Justice, when you're directing the FBI to engage in law enforcement, you're not behaving as a political operative because a political ally of the president says, hey, go attack these parents because we don't like what they're saying. Department of Justice, you did no independent research on what was happening, did you?
The memo has nothing to do with
Did you do independent research?
The memo has
Did you do independent research?
The memo has nothing to do
Okay, you're not answering that
politics.
question. You've testified you know nothing about the violent sexual assault that happened in Loudoun County, even though it's one of the bases in this letter.
I read about it since then.
Okay, you told the House last week you knew nothing about it.
Not know at the time. No.
Okay, this week the court concluded that a 14-year-old girl was violently raped by a boy wearing a skirt in the girls' restroom. The school district covered it up, released the boy, sent him to another school where he violently raped another girl. The father, who Mr. Hawley just showed you, was the father of the first girl. He was understandably, do you understand why a parent would be upset when your daughter is raped at school, the school board covers it up, and then lies to you and claims there have been no assaults, we have no instances of assaults in our bathroom, and that was a flat-out lie, as the court concluded this week. Do you understand why the parent would be upset?
Absolutely, and any expressions of upset are completely protected by the First Amendment.
Except you just called him a domestic terrorist.
I never called him that. That's not correct.
This letter calls him a domestic terrorist. You based a direction to the FBI.
God damn.
The battle between the Ravens
How
and
you
the
guys get these fucking little politicians
the
on?
Attorney General on this letter, and I'll tell you what, the NSBA is so embarrassed of this letter, they've apologized for it and retracted it, but you don't apparently have the same willingness to apologize and retract what you did. Let me ask you something else. A big part of this letter is that they're upset about parents not wanting critical race theory taught. Your son-in-law makes a very substantial sum of money from a company involved in the teaching of critical race theory. Did you seek and receive a decision from an ethics advisor at the Department of Justice before you carried out an action that would have a predictable financial benefit to your son-in-law?
This memorandum is aimed at violence and threats.
I just asked a question. Did you seek an ethics?
No predictable.
Did you seek an ethics opinion?
It has no.
Did you seek an ethics opinion? Judge, you know how to ask questions and answer them. Did you seek an ethics opinion?
You asked me whether I sought an ethics opinion about something that would have a predictable effect on something. This has no predictable effect in the way that you're talking about.
So if critical race theory is taught in more schools, does your son-in-law make more money?
This memo has nothing.
If critical race theory is taught in more schools, does your son-in-law make more money? Yes or no?
This memorandum has nothing to do with critical race theory.
Will you answer if you sought an ethics
kind of
opinion?
curriculum?
Will you answer if you sought an
I
ethics
am answering the best I can.
Yes or no? Did you seek an ethics opinion?
This memorandum has
Did
nothing.
you seek an ethics opinion?
This memorandum has nothing to do with.
General, are you refusing to answer if you sought an ethics
I'm
opinion?
telling you that there's no possible.
So you're saying no. Just answer it directly. You know how to answer a question directly. Did you seek an ethics opinion?
I'm telling you that if I thought there was any reason to believe there was a conflict of interest, I would do that. But I cannot.
Why do you refuse to answer the question? Why won't you just say no?
I'm sorry.
You're not going to answer the question?
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
Did you seek an ethics opinion?
I'm saying again, I would seek an ethics opinion in.
So no is the answer, correct?
There was a
Senator, your time is up.
Let the record reflect the Attorney General refuses to answer whether he sought an ethics opinion, and apparently ethics are not a terribly high priority in the Biden Justice Department.
I don't think that's a fair reflection of what I said.
Then answer the question.
Senator, you've gone way beyond any other senator's time. I think you ought to be at least respectful of other senators at this point.
Mr. Chairman, do you know the answer whether he sought an ethics opinion?
I think you have exchanged that so many times, we know where we stand.
But first, if you're like like me, you've watched in awe and wonder as the crypto exchange FTX collapsed, taking vast fortunes along with it. But what you might not have known was just how closely tied this scam, and that's really the only word for it, how closely tied it was to the Democrat Party. Let's start with the guru behind it, Sam Bankman-Fried, whose dad was a Stanford professor, a major Democrat donor himself, and author of draft legislation used by Elizabeth Warren. With this background, it's no surprise Bankman-Fried himself was a darling of the left. And if you're looking for data points as to just how cozy the now defunct FTX was with progressives, check out how the New York Times has covered its rise and fall. Back in May, the Times was pumping up Bankman-Fried's tires, describing him in absolutely gushing terms, almost as a sort of new age prophet of crypto determined to change the world. And now that more than $1 billion has gone missing seemingly overnight, they just refer to its collapse in very passive terms, while the words fraud, crime, stolen, theft, criminal, and hidden make no appearance in the Times' latest 2,000-plus word count article about the debacle. Could it be because next week Bankman-Fried was due to speak at a New York Times forum with Janet Yellen, Mark Zuckerberg, and the Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky? And as the Times noted, I love this bit, the event was being held, quote, with World Economic Forum partner Accenture? Maybe Bankman-Fried was just teasing Klaus Schwab's promise that you'll win on nothing and you will be happy. If you put, of course, the money in FTX, trying that out on his customers, hey? But even more important is the fact that Bankman-Fried was running what appears to be a slush fund for Democrats. He and his mates became the second biggest donors to the Democrats after George Soros. Bankman-Fried also dangled the prospect earlier this year of giving up to $1 billion to the Democrats in coming election cycles. As it turns out, the Democrats have so far only received tens of millions of dollars, relatively small change, but wouldn't it be something if they gave those donations back to the investors who lost everything? For the answer to that question, let's go to Springfield's Monty Burns.
If there's anything, I've donated $1 million to the local orphanage. When pigs fly.
Will you be donating $1 million now, sir?
No, I'd still prefer not.
This holiday, get loud at Guitar Center.
This was the worst year ever. After my divorce, I felt like I couldn't trust.
Germany is preparing for the worst. The German government knows things can go really bad for it really fast. Berlin wants to be prepared to deal with any eventuality, despite the German government claiming the country has sufficient energy resources to make it through the winters unscathed. Behind the scenes, the German government is planning for all hell breaking loose, and it is doing so with utmost secrecy. So, what does the worst case scenario for Germany look like? Let's find out. Hello and welcome. This is Sandeep Singh Malhotra, and you're watching First Post. Germany doesn't want to admit this publicly, but it faces the prospect of rolling out power blackouts of some magnitude this winter season. Now here's the problem with blackouts. They won't just mean that houses and businesses will not have electricity. Power blackouts will adversely affect every sphere of life in Germany. Most importantly, the financial and banking sector. Germans take their cash very, very seriously. If they aren't able to withdraw their cash or are deprived of the money they need, they can get very angry very fast. As per Reuters, German authorities have stepped up preparations for emergency cash deliveries in case important. As you can see, Berlin and many industries are located here. So, Germany's capital could face oil shortages along with blackouts. That creates a precarious situation. Germany could also face social unrest if the government fails to control the crisis at hand or fails extraordinarily to address the woes of its citizens. Do you think Germany is going to have a rough few months ahead? Let us know in the comments.
I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like CGI. Oh, don't worry.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com. Dave Chappelle is crazy, man.
I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I'm just telling you. I've been honest. This is just what I saw. It's a lot of juice. Like a lot.
This video is brought to you by The Opposite Tatum Store. The Opposite Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go down to our featured item.
And that, Kanye. When he's in trouble, I pull up. Never heard someone do good after they said that. I gotta tell you guys, I've probably been doing this 35 years now. And early in my career, I learned that there are two words in the English language that you should never say together in sequence. And those words are the and juice. Never heard someone do good after they said that. Kanye's gotten into some scrapes before. Normally when he's in trouble, I pull up immediately. But this time I was like, you know what? Let me see what's gonna happen first. Let's see where this all goes. I can't even remember how it started. Vaguely, I remember it started with a tweet, a strange tweet. It was like, I'm feeling a little sleepy. I'm gonna give me some rest, but when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the juice. And then he just went to bed. I was up all night worried. What is he gonna do to the juice? I grew up around Jewish people. I have a lot of Jewish friends. So I'm not freaked out by your culture. I know a little bit about it just from hanging around. Be like, yo, let's go out after school tomorrow. Be like, we can't go out. It's Shana tomorrow. I'm like, what is Shana? I had so many questions. Why do some of your people dress like Run DMC? Kanye woke up from that nap and went right to work. A year ago, I'd seen him on a podcast called Drink Champs, great show, and it was an amazing appearance. Noriega and them were there, the rappers that I love, and they all had their gold chains and stuff on. And Kanye said, only millionaires wear chains. They said, what? He said, I'm a billionaire. Billionaires don't wear their money on their body. I took my chain and I said, oh, snap. It was fun and funny. But when he woke up, he went on Drink Champs again. This time, he was on one. He was mad about something. He said, I can say anti-Semitic things, and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Adidas dropped that nigga immediately. Ironically, Adidas was founded by Nazis, and they were offended. I guess the student surpassed the teacher. It's a big deal. He had broken the show business rules. This is a rule. You know, the rules are of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it. Kanye got in so much trouble. Kyrie got in trouble. Kyrie Irving posted a link to a movie that he had seen on Amazon. No caption on the post or nothing like that. But apparently this movie had some, I don't know, anti-Semitic tropes or something. It was some weird title, like From Hebrew to Negro or something. And the NBA told him he should apologize, and he was slow to apologize. And then the list of demands to get back in their good graces got longer and longer. And this is where, you know, I draw the line. I know the Jewish people have been through terrible things all over the world, but you can't blame that on black Americans. You just can't. You know what I mean? Thanks for the one person that said a fair punishment would be you should just post a link to Schindler's List and y'all write your own captions. Kyrie Irving's black ass was nowhere near the Holocaust. In fact, he's not even certain it existed. I saw one news pundit screaming about Kanye. She said, mental health is no excuse for that type of language. Yes, it is, bitch. You can kill somebody if you're mentally ill. Listen, okay, I don't think Kanye is crazy at all. I think he's possibly not well. I've been to Hollywood. I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I'm just telling you. I've been to Hollywood. This is just what I saw. It's a lot of Jews. Like a lot. But that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black people in Ferguson, Missouri. Doesn't mean anything. I could see if you had some kind of issue, you know what I mean? You might go out to Hollywood and your mind might start connecting some kind of lines, and you could maybe adopt the delusion that the Jews run show business. It's not a crazy thing to think, but it's a crazy thing to say out loud at a time like this. Now the midterms are over, and it's crazy climate. And I got to tell you, I feel like this midterm, like all of humanity, depends on it. And it's an ominous sign. The most ominous sign of the midterms, I believe, would be Herschel Walker, who I don't want to speak badly of because he's black. But I have to admit, he's observably stupid. Even when he's not talking, his mouth be open a little bit. He's the kind of guy that looks like he thinks before he makes a move on tic-tac-toe. And I'm watching the news now. They're declaring the end of the Trump era. Now, okay, I can see how in New York you might believe this is the end of his era. I'm just being honest with you. I live in Ohio, amongst the for whites. A lot of you don't understand why Trump was so popular, but I get it, because I hear it every day. He's very loved. And the reason he's loved is because people in Ohio have never seen somebody like him. He's what I call an honest liar. Well, I'm not joking right now. He's an honest liar. That first debate, I've never seen anything
Here to
like
go.
it. I've never seen a white male billionaire screaming at the top of his lungs, "This whole system is rigged," he said. And across the stage was a white woman, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, sitting over there looking at him like, "No, it's not." I said, "Now, wait a minute, bro. It's what he said." And the moderator said, "Well, Mr. Trump, if in fact the system is rigged, as you suggest, what would be your evidence?" Remember what he said, bro? He said, "I know the system is rigged because I use it." I said, "God damn." And they pulled out an Illuminati membership card, chopped a line of cocaine up, and then ran to the podium. Someone say something that true. And then Hillary Clinton tried to punch him in the taxes. She said, "This man doesn't pay his taxes." He shot right back. "That makes me smart." And then he said, "If you want me to pay my taxes, then change the tax code. But I know you won't, because your friends and your donors enjoy the same tax breaks that I do." And with that, my friends, a star was born. No one had ever seen anything like that. No one had ever seen somebody come from inside of that house, outside, and tell all the commoners, "We are doing everything that you think we are doing." Inside of that house. And he just went right back in the house and started playing the game again.
It's okay, Rocky. It's okay.
I'm a Democrat. I'm telling you, as soon as he won, they started saying all that he's colluding with Russia. He's colluding with Russia. It was very embarrassing as a Democrat. But as time went on, we all came to learn he was probably colluding with Russia. I even look at his wife different now. His wife is beautiful, no question about it. But she looks like the kind of chick that James Bond would smash, but not trust. Why you got all them documents in his house? What is this? This guy that's famous for not reading his press briefings, now all of a sudden he got 10,000 documents in his house for I've been fired from jobs many times in my life. And I will be very honest with you. Sometimes I was fired. I stole things from the office. Staplers, computer mouses, all kinds of stuff. But you know what I never stole from work? Work.
Rocky, get down, baby. Get down. No, down. Down. Pate, gordo. Get down, Rocky.
The war in Ukraine brought it all into focus. And lucky for everybody in the Western world, the Ukrainians are way better fighters than we thought they'd be. I mean, these guys.
No, that's the stupid thing he could have said. They are not good fighters. You literally have the whole world sending them $80 billion. Oh, wait, hold on, wait, what? Yes or no? What do you mean? Yeah, like I said, you got Ukraine being handed $80 billion worth. Well, actually, I believe the total was $84 billion worth of aid. Not just like financially, but like military aid. Compared to Russia's spending for its military annually, it's about 76 billion, and yet Ukraine is still fucking losing. How do you even add that up? You got more money and weapons and all that flowing from other governments, higher than fucking Russia's annual spending on military budget, and you can't beat them. It makes no sense. They are not no strong fighters. They are trash. Is a nation fighting a unlimited energy, well, not unlimited energy, a unlimited weapon nation, which is Ukraine. that is not fair to begin with. War is based on one party and another party, not based on, oh, the whole world's helping you out to take you out. Weak ass niggas. Now, where was I? Alright, I can't talk about that in this channel. Fuck. God damn. God damn. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so we added that to it. Okay, let's see what else can we add to it. We got that already over there set up. The towers are done, basically. Just gotta have the flooring to them, make them farms and all that. Now, do we have any other dye available that we can use? Any other dye? Hang on. Check something out.
Here's a song about a brawny paper towel. Stand tall, tear small, and stop the waste. But save more towels, it's not too late. From a fishstick to a lipstick to...
NATO is furious. You see, NATO is in a perpetual state of anger against Russia. That's what the military alliance's primary job is, confronting Russia. But for a change, NATO is now furious at Ukraine. Just to put things in perspective, the world narrowly escaped the breakout of a very big Russia-NATO war on Wednesday. We could have very well been in the midst of a world war right now if the West had taken Ukraine's claims of Russia attacking Poland at face value. As it turns out, Poland was struck by Ukrainian air defense missiles and not by Russia. NATO, the United States, and all of Ukraine's allies have concluded that Russia did not fire the missiles that ended up killing 2 people in Poland. Hello and welcome. This is Sabir Singh Ranhotra, and you're watching First Post. Ukraine's Western allies and NATO made it clear on Wednesday that Russia did not strike Poland. They also said Poland was struck by Ukrainian missiles. However, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, refused to buy their claims. Zelensky publicly announced that he had no doubt the missile that landed in Poland was not a Ukrainian one. Essentially, he was implying that Russian missiles struck Poland. Volodymyr Zelensky has been lying to the world's face, and NATO is beginning to see right through these lies. A NATO official hit out at the Ukrainian regime, saying, and I quote, "This is getting ridiculous. The Ukrainians are destroying our confidence in them. Nobody is blaming Ukraine, and they are openly lying. This is more destructive than the missile." Now, note the keywords here. Ukraine is destroying its allies' confidence in it, and it is openly lying. That's a stunning rebuke coming from NATO. Earlier, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said there was no indication that the missile blasts were a deliberate attack by Moscow. He added that the alliance saw no signs of Russia preparing offensive military actions against NATO. Not just NATO, many Ukrainian allies in the West are now getting tired of the dramatic and often unfounded rhetoric that comes out of Kyiv. According to the BBC, this kind of rhetoric is beginning to exhaust the patience of some Western officials. According to them, Ukraine's maximalist language and demands are adding to Ukraine fatigue among allies. That means Ukraine's allies are getting tired of supporting the war-torn country. For Ukraine, the missile blasts in Poland represented a window of opportunity. Finally, Ukraine's regime saw an event unfolding before its eyes that could get NATO in a direct war with Russia. NATO getting involved in the war against Russia would turn the tide decisively in favor of Ukraine. But that's not what happened. Instead, Ukraine ended up infuriating NATO and many of its Western allies. Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, even went on to say that it was a conspiracy theory to suggest that missiles were part of Ukrainian air defenses. For many of Ukraine's allies, these remarks suggested that Kyiv was pinning the blame on the West instead of taking responsibility for its actions. Technically, Ukraine could be facing a collective... NATO response due to its missiles killing 2 people in Poland, which is a NATO member state. Instead of apologizing, Ukraine is blatantly lying and trying to pin the blame on Russia for something it did not do. Do you think Ukraine has made a big mistake? Let us know in the comments.
Oh, kind of the question is that, of course. Not really a mistake, is what he did intentionally. They deliberately attacked NATO just to get NATO to like jump on it, thinking that NATO would be that stupid to like just believe it at face value.
Did you know?
Interesting. Hold on.
Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Switch now. Get Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro for free with qualifying trade-in.
A mysterious sound heard through parts of Fort Greene, Brooklyn, has been driving some people we are told crazy.
Yeah, it's maddening, it's unsettling, and it's also just this mystery because nobody seems to know what is causing this strange humming sound. CBS 2's Kevin Brincone gives us a listen. It's profoundly annoying.
As you hear the noise, it's hard to make out what it is.
It sounds like somebody putting their finger on a glass cup and running it around the top of the cup.
It sounds very much like a resonance, a harmonic resonance, like if you can picture someone rubbing the top of a crystal glass.
Fuck off, you fucking dickhead.
Mo Hussein, he took video walking home one night. He's noticed the sound for over a year. I liken it to like some sort of alien invasion as you're walking around. Even in the middle of the night, you hear this hum in the background and you wonder what that means.
You know, I thought about that. They're only landing in the middle of the night.
For Adrena Banks, her theory, it's construction related, but admits it could be anything.
It's just this consistent humming that doesn't seem to go away and goes on for hours. It's so piercing that it keeps you up.
Neighbors called 311, but when the city's Department of Environmental Protection showed up, the sound had stopped. We reached out to the DEP several times on Thursday, and they now say they plan to return to try and find the source of the nuisance. As soon as you think of Halo now, that the Russia-Ukraine war doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon is evidently clear now. But this also means something else. Yes, Ukraine's unending appetite for Western aid will continue. The West, led by the United States and the European Union, has made it clear time and again that its support for Ukraine is free of any terms and conditions. That means Kyiv can ask for whatever support it wants. Military, financial, political, you name it. And the West will go out of its way to fulfill it. Why so, you'd ask? This is because the West, rather secretly, hopes that such support will reap dividends sooner than later in the form of Ukraine's victory, and more importantly, Russia's resounding defeat in the war. But such an approach by the West is creating a crisis for them back home, and they realize it now. Hello and welcome.
Fuck off, you fucking dickhead.
I think everyone is now sufficiently worried. NATO officials said this very recently. And definitely, NATO, the US, the European Union, they're all very worried. NATO held a special meeting of the alliance's arms directors on Tuesday to discuss ways to refuel the nation's weapons stockpiles. To support Ukraine, NATO has also put its own arms inventory on the line.
Ukraine dearly wants the supply of these weapons to continue. But there's one key problem with this assistance to Kyiv. The war-torn nation is finishing ammunition faster than it can ever be manufactured. According to Dave DeRoy, an associate professor and senior military fellow at the U.S. National Defense University, 30,000 rounds for the 155mm howitzer take about a year. And how quickly is Ukraine finishing these rounds? 2 weeks. 14 days, that's it. Here, the West's glaring mistakes come to the fore. It started giving aid to Ukraine without realizing the stress it will have on its own inventories. Before that, during peacetime, these countries in the West manufactured weapons at a very slow pace in line with their countries' needs. Ukraine's war meant all of it got depleted in a jiffy. Now, the US is left with two options: stop aid to Ukraine or continue to supply via its own reserves. According to CNBC, the Pentagon isn't keen on using reserves for Ukraine, as that is meant for their own forces. A possible third option is this: scale down the quality of the weapons, essentially downgrading what you supply to Ukraine. So, if Kyiv has been getting the latest 155mm howitzer thus far, it will now have to settle for, say, the 105mm howitzer. Of course, downgrading a weapon means not only cutting corners on the specifications, but also a significant setback for Kyiv's plan to counter Russia. Do you think the West will be able to come out of this mess unscathed? Do let us know in the comments.
Fuck all that.
NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's often considered to be one of the most feared military alliances in the world. Its treaty says an attack on one member equals an attack on all. Soon after we wrapped up our show last night, there was an attack on one such NATO member. A missile struck Poland. 2 people died. How did NATO react? With confusion, followed by a desperate attempt to turn around the story. Let's now take a look at the sequence of events. At 3:40 p.m. local time on the 15th of November, a missile fell on a Polish village. This is where it is located on the map, just 6 kilometers from Ukraine. The missile hit a grain drying facility. Now, eyewitnesses say that they heard a terrifying sound as the missile flew over the town. The force of the explosion shook windows. One farm worker was due to start his shift at 7 p.m. later that evening, and he says he could have been among those dead. The attack came at a time when Russian missiles were raining on Ukraine. It was one of the heaviest barrages of missiles to hit Ukraine since the start of the war. Goes without saying, Russia was the obvious suspect. Poland's foreign ministry was quick to put out a statement. It said the missile was Russian-made. The country's president, Andrzej Duda, also hinted at a Russian hand. Poland even summoned Russia's ambassador to Warsaw. The reaction was quick. But so was the U-turn. Take a look.
We do not have any conclusive evidence at the moment as to who launched this missile. We can say what happened was an isolated incident. Nothing, absolutely nothing indicates that this was an intentional attack on Poland. So what happened is a rocket hit our territory. It was not intentional. It was not a missile targeted at Poland. The fact is this was not an attack on Poland.
Chances are the missile never came from Russia. So who fired it? The NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg says the missile was fired from Ukraine. It was a Ukrainian air defense missile. It was meant to hit a Russian rocket. Instead, it struck Poland.
Our preliminary analysis suggests that the incident was likely caused by a Ukrainian air defense missile fired to defend Ukrainian territory against Russian cruise missile attacks. But let me be clear. This is not Ukraine's fault.
Stupidity. Stupidity.
Why is it not Ukraine's fault?
Exactly, why?
And what was NATO's air defense system doing when the missile was heading towards Poland? You see, NATO has an integrated air and missile defense system. It is called NATO IAMD. The alliance claims that this defense system is prepared to address all kinds of threats, from tactical to strategic, from air, over land, or from the sea. But here, it failed to spot a missile being fired from a neighboring country. Of course, it was a misfire. But it did hit a NATO country. It killed 2 people. What did NATO members do about it? Let's get you some reactions now. The Pentagon reacted by saying it was not aware of any such attack. And soon, the US President Joe Biden began downplaying the entire incident. Listen in.
Too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia.
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see.
One would have expected NATO members to go to town criticizing Russia, but that was opposite of what was happening in Bali on the last day of the G20 summit. There were some cautious remarks and no naming names. Any idea why? First, the uncomfortable issue of NATO's own air defense system. Second, in this case, the missile was fired from Ukraine, a country which NATO has been standing by firmly, even committing its air defense to. But here, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky appeared to have no clue of what had happened. He issued a statement blaming Russia for the missile strike, even calling an attack on collective security and a significant escalation. Listen in.
Moreover, today happened what we were warning about for a long time. We said that terror is not confined to our state borders. It is already spreading to the territory of Moldova. And today, Russian missiles hit Poland. They hit the territory of a friendly nation, and people were killed. To fire missiles at NATO territory, this is a Russian missile. This is a Russian missile attack on collective security. It's a significant escalation. Action is required.
Call it hope, confusion, or a communication void. Earlier today, NATO called an emergency meeting. The idea was to figure out how it would react. At least 2 alliance members called for strengthening the air defense on NATO's eastern wing. This is the area I'm talking about. Countries like Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria. You see, the war is happening in their backyard. And what happened in Poland is a reminder that any moment the war could breach NATO territory. Also a reminder that NATO may not be prepared for such a grim occasion. The strike in Poland has exposed NATO's military and communication lapse. And guess who's having a field day?
We ask Polish officials to be more restrained, balanced, and professional when they are talking about such sensitive and potentially dangerous themes.
As the saga comes to an end, here's what NATO has concluded. 1. It needs to provide more air defense to Ukraine. And 2. Russia bears ultimately all responsibility. Those are the words of the NATO chief. In other words, Ukraine can misfire a missile. NATO's own defense system can fail. Civilians can die as a result. And it is all Russia's fault. The question is, what gives? Beyond World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.
sweet, everyone feels welcome. Tomorrow, the welcomes keep on coming.
This is General Mark Milley. He's the highest-ranking general in the United States of America. Within the U.S. military hierarchy, this man ranks right at the top. He's the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff. So he's the leader of the entire U.S. military, the most powerful armed force on the face of the planet. What General Milley says is important, and what he has to say won't be pleasing to the Ukrainian regime's ears. Hello and welcome. I am Shubhangi Sharma, and you're watching First Post. Army General Mark Milley has sounded a warning bell for Ukraine. He has said that Ukraine cannot completely defeat Russia in the ongoing war because Russia remains a superior force that still has a lot of combat abilities. General Mark Milley said, "The probability of a Ukrainian military victory, defined as kicking the Russians out of all of Ukraine to include what they claim as Crimea, the probability of that happening anytime soon is not high militarily." Here's some context. Ukraine has been making some really bullish claims of late. These include unrealistic goals of kicking Russia out of all territories that it has captured since February and also retaking Crimea. In return, Ukraine continues to demand for more military aid from the United States and elsewhere. But the top American general has subtly been pushing Ukraine to negotiate with Russia. He's been doing that for many days now. General Milley also said, "There may be a political solution where politically the Russians withdraw. That's possible. But a military victory for Ukraine, that's not going to happen." Ukraine's allies are suffering. Countries in the West, like the United States, and those in Europe have given a lot of military aid to Ukraine. But Ukraine has been using these weapons at a very fast pace. Its allies aren't being able to keep up with the pace and manufacture replacements on time. As a result, Western countries are seeing their own weapons stockpiles getting depleted, leaving them in a vulnerable position. Ukraine could soon see itself not getting military aid from its allies. For example, the U.S. is running low on some high-end weapon systems and ammunition available to transfer to Kiev. Stockpiles of the 155mm howitzers, Stinger missiles, and the HIMARS systems are worst affected. Several U.S. officials quoted by CNN said that the stockpiles of certain systems are dwindling after nearly 9 months of sending supplies to Kiev. But why is that? Well, because the U.S. has a finite amount of excess stocks which it can spare for Ukraine. Only a limited amount. And the country isn't being able to rapidly manufacture weapon systems at a pace which Ukraine requires them. So the top American general is now pushing for negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Recently, General Mark Milley was reported to be pushing the Biden administration to convey to Ukraine that it was now time to return to the negotiating table with Russia. Clearly, the war has been protracted for far too long. There are larger considerations which the U.S. military is now taking into account. U.S. and NATO allies cannot begin compromising on their own combat readiness to help Ukraine. That means they must compromise on the kind of aid that they've been giving to Ukraine. And that isn't good news for Kiev. How do you see things playing out for Ukraine in the next few weeks? Do let us know what you think in the comments.
You better have teleported. Come on. Get your frog ass over here. Oh wow, he's a green one. We don't need a green one. We need. I mean, we don't need the white ones. We need green ones. We got a whole lot of white ones. What the hell is he doing up there? Alright, there we go. Got 25 lights over there. They're a swamp biome. We gotta breed them. Can't keep them here for that long. I gotta bring more different variations of them. More green ones gotta come in. Oh, man. Any slime here? Come on. The tadpole. It died. How did the tadpole even get there? Whoa, someone's been here. Look at that. There's a bed right here. What the fuck? Bed in front of a cave system. Cave system was kind of laggy. Not quite sure as to why, but it does pique the interest in my mind a bit. It means that there must be some prehistoric base around here. Maybe, a possibility. Guess not. Alright, we're gonna go get our day started. Whoa, feedback. Oh shit, whoa, we came in the wrong area. We came in the wrong cut. Well, we're gonna get our day started and we get on Among Us on virtual reality. It is a crazy new game on the VR. You gotta try it out. Let's get this day started. before it becomes a bit more late.